All right, it seems like the Indianapolis Colts can't stay out of the news this week, but this time it's for a surprising and kind of positive reason. Anthony Richardson, rookie quarterback, is taking all the first team reps for the Colts, and this comes as a big shocker. I don't think anybody really had it on the table that Anthony Richardson could potentially be the starting quarterback for the Colts week one. It was more of a long-term, let's develop this kid, get him ready, possibly later in this season, and if not, into next season as our starting quarterback. But it seems like he is taking control of this quarterback competition. He's getting all the first team reps this week. The preseason is right around the corner, and this is really, really surprising. Richardson, all the athletic ability in the world. He's a freak, 6'4", 230, runs like the wind, an athletic god, if you might say. But the real questions have been with his actual quarterback play. He was a late first-round projection coming out of Florida this year, but flew up the draft boards with his workouts and combine performances. It got him drafted number 4 overall, and it was a big risk for the Colts. A lot of people not necessarily sold on him. It was really C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young as your top 2 quarterbacks, and then everything else was kind of a crapshoot. Now, I don't hate the pick of Richardson. I think he's got a lot of athletic abilities. He's 21 years old. That's a big positive. He just turned 21. But the guy just made 13 career starts at Florida, and he wasn't good at Florida. He's thrown less than 400 career passes in college. That's crazy to think about, that they're thinking about throwing him out there week one against the Jags, a team that just won the division and is like really getting a lot of love, that they could actually do some damage in the AFC playoff picture. And I kind of hate this move. There's never necessarily the right time to put in a rookie quarterback. Some say let him sit. Some say week one. There's never really a right time. It just happens when it happens. But it can really mess guys' careers up. When you put them in a bad situation early, it takes away from their fundamentals. It takes away from their learning process. They're having to scramble around, try and make plays, try and do too much, and it can really, really, really hurt their development. Think about the difference between Patrick Mahomes going to Kansas City, sitting for a full year essentially, and then taking over, rather than him going into Cleveland as the gunslinger he was known as, not having really anybody to teach him, and thrown to the fire. Wouldn't have been good. It would have probably ruined his career, and we probably wouldn't have the Patrick Mahomes we have now. He would still probably be a good quarterback, but we're not going to have a guy who we're talking about could be the GOAT one day. And I fear that with Richardson. Let's be honest. The Indianapolis Colts are an absolute shit show of a team and an organization. Your best player, Jonathan Taylor, is holding out. You have a brand new coach that everyone kind of likes because, he turned Jalen Hurts around in a short time, got Jalen Hurts into a top-tier NFL quarterback. So I get that's why you go with Richardson. He's a similar type build, but not really. I mean, if you want to be stereotypical, I guess, but Jalen Hurts was a fantastic passer of the football at Oklahoma. Anthony Richardson was not that at Florida, okay? He was not a guy that could sling the rock. He just made athletic plays. Now, he has some throws that, man, you really look at it and you're like, holy hell, this guy's unbelievable. He's got a huge arm, but there's other times where it's like he looks like a high schooler out here making reads, terrible reads, throwing, turning the ball over. So there's a lot to go with that. You put him around a team, like I said, you don't have your best offensive weapon in Jonathan Taylor. You have mediocre wide receivers at best. You've had mediocre wide receivers forever. I've talked about that. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. is okay, but there's not much there. Your offensive line hasn't been great. It's downgraded. It used to be the heart and soul of your team. Hasn't been good. And Quentin Nelson, I give him credit. He did talk about how mature Richardson's been, how much growth he's made from OTAs to now. He said he's clearly been studying, clearly practicing on how to call plays in the huddle, which is good. You want to hear that. Quentin Nelson used to be a guy respected in this league as the best at his position. He's taken a downturn these last few years, but it's a positive thing to hear that from your guy. I know nobody's going to bash the guy, but that really would impress me if I'm listening to stuff like that. And Jim Irsay has been on this. We're going to start him sometime this season. Chris Ballard wanted to hold your horses. We don't know. We don't expect him to be Superman day one, but it's starting to look like and trend towards he is going to get that start in Jacksonville. And like I said, you have zero offensive help for this guy. Now, maybe they can scheme some things up, but it's going to be a slog. Your defense isn't good. You were 4-12-1 for a reason last year. I know you've had Matt Ryan, but you've now had 7 different quarterbacks for 7 straight seasons starting week 1. No guys have started more than once the last 7 seasons. It's insane. They have no quarterback stability. And that's what Ballard talked about when he made this pick. He said Anthony Richardson was a risk, but he was also an investment, a long-term investment to get some stability at this position since Andrew Luck's retired. I get it. It was really shitty. It throws off your franchise for a while. But Indianapolis, you've done nothing to help yourself since then. I get you had a win-now team. And don't get me wrong, we may not be talking about the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes if Andrew Luck doesn't step down. There were some loaded rosters in Indy, and Andrew Luck was a top 5 NFL quarterback when he played. Everyone saw it. Everybody knows it. So I get you had some really shitty luck, and you haven't been able to get this thing figured out. But don't throw this kid to the wolves with a team that's going to be terrible this year, most likely. I get it, the division isn't very good, but still, your team is bad, and you're not going to win a lot of football games. I would much rather have him sit for the first few weeks, 6-7 weeks, get him out there after your bye, roll him out there, let him start the rest of the season. You guys are bad. Get some more good quality draft picks, and then really start his development and rookie season essentially next season. Hopefully he's got a full year in the system. But hey, man, the Colts are going to do Colt things. I figured they would have changed their ways, but I'm not a fan of him starting week 1. But hey, man, he could blow me out of the water and take the league by storm. It wouldn't be the first time it's happened. It's not going to be a surprise if he does. It'll just be like, wow, I guess we were wrong on this one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you a fan of Richardson getting the start week 1, or would you much rather have him sit and finally slow his way into the NFL game? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.